that first comes up. And so the first thing to do, if you haven't registered an account, you're going to need to click here to register. And the fields that are marked in red are required. So I'll just go ahead and enter some information. And social. Your email address is really important. That's how we will get in contact with you. So and you really shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. So, and the cell phone number.
Yeah, hello?
Okay.
Hello?
So, hello. Okay, so then you can submit your registration. After you submit the registration, you'll receive an email from CAB or Connect actually, indicating that you need to change your password. So okay, and I haven't received it yet. Okay, so okay, I have not received the email. So okay, wow, this isn't good. Let me enter a different different email address. This one should have worked, but it doesn't seem to be. And we're using a test instance of the application, so so we can go ahead, and I'm going to click this too. Submit registration. Now we'll see if it. Okay, well, I had tested this before. Oh, there we go. Okay, it just took a little while and to get here. Okay, so the email will come up. It will have a temporary password. Just copy that out. And then you will go to your login page. Okay, let me email address in, right? Okay. I'm just gonna try this one again. Start over. Okay, I am going to start over. I am just going to register another account. Use the same name. Birth. Last four, we'll do this. Address. Cell phone. Submit registration. Okay, and now I'm just waiting for the email to come in with my temporary password. So, yeah, usually registering an account is much easier than this. I'm just having a little problem today. Okay, so again, here's the email that you'll get from Connect with your temporary password. So you just highlight it and be sure just to highlight the password. Don't get any spaces in it. That may have been what happened to me last time. Click here to go to your login page. Temporary password and log in. Okay, so that was my old password. I am going to just paste a new password and I'll paste it again. Okay, so now I've logged in and this is your dashboard. So this is where you'll submit your application. So I'll just go from registering into submitting an application.
Amy, we have a couple of questions. The first is from Adam Carrillo.
Okay.
Adam?
Hi, I just saw that you pasted in a password.
Uh-huh.
Was there instructions or like did you go over what the password requirements were?
I did not go over what
Okay.
the password
I thought that was
requirements
kind of
are.
important because I remember having an issue with that particularly because I don't know if it was fixed actually, to be honest, but I think it's needed to be like 15 characters long or something, which is
Yeah. Oh,
a little bit different.
right. Okay. So let's let me finish with submitting the application. We'll go back through that again. And we'll because the password rules do now come up, and so we'll once we submit the application, we'll go through and
Amy,
look at the password
Amy,
rules.
we have
Yes.
another question from Timiko Okabe.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I kind of late joined this meeting. So the purpose of this meeting, so the CAB used to accept all the paper by mail, but now you try to do everything by online, like all the application. Is that true? Is that correct?
We do still accept the paper applications, but we strongly encourage you to apply online. It's the fastest way. If you mail in an application, it can take a long time, a longer time than if you submit the application online for us to process it.
Okay. How do I go to the login page? I kind of missed it.
Okay, you will go to the California Architects Board website, and you can click click the Connect, and that will take you to the live instance of Connect. I'm in a test instance right now, but this will take you right to the where you need to go. So, and then you just click here to register, and you'll be able to register. I'll go over that again really quickly so that we can look at the password rules. So, but first of all, let's just go through submitting an application for eligibility evaluation, and then we'll circle back. So you just select from the drop list, you select the application for eligibility evaluation and click create new application.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. My name is Mariam. I had a hard time logging into Teams, so I'm just joining on the audio. I was wondering if anybody else had a hard time joining. I wasn't able to. The code didn't work for me, so I'm not able to see what you're showing. I was just wondering if other people had issues logging into Teams.
This meeting is being recorded, so we will be posting this information on our website as well, this meeting. As far as if you're having an issue getting into the meeting through the link, if you received the email from us that was sent out a week or two ago, I would suggest trying again and using the password and the meeting ID that was included. But
Okay.
if you're unable to successfully get in, then this will be posted to our website.
All right, thank you. I was just wondering if just the login worked for anybody or it was just me. But all right, thank you.
Okay, so back to this. Okay, so the first thing that's going to display when you start to submit your application, you're just going to get a little instructions and disclosures. So you just read through that and click the Save and Continue button. Okay, so once you do that, then the instructions and disclosure will have a green check mark, and you'll be on the Personal Information tab. So here you can, the things that you entered during registration will be brought over. Here's where you'll enter your NCARB record number. And then you'll enter anything else, your sex, your address. And the country's a little difficult, but if you type the U and then use the down arrow on your keyboard, you will eventually get to United States. And I'll use California for the prop state. And city, I'll just use Sacramento since. And zip code. And there's the email address, the daytime phone number, and
It didn't look like it pulled over the SSN, Amy.
okay. Oh, okay. Oh, and it won't pull over the SSN. It's just because all that you've entered during registration is the last four. So okay. Thank you, Jesse. Okay. So now that the personal information has a check mark, you'll go to general questions. Have you previously applied? No. Have you completed? Yes. Just, enter these to your correctly. Now it'll go to the military service. And if you have served and you click yes, it will ask you to upload your DD-214. Well, go ahead. Okay, so there it is, and then you can click save and continue. And then it will ask for refugee status questions. Just click no on that. Disciplinary questions. Just answer that truthfully. Okay, education. Okay, this can be tricky. If you've gone to a school with a NAB accredited degree, even if the degree you received isn't NAB accredited, you can select the college from this list. If you went to a college without a NAB accredited degree, you'll scroll down until you get to other and enter that. And your course of study, you have two choices, architecture or other, and your degree would be bachelor. And the college I went to, what's a good name for a school? What? Santa Claus U. Okay, and the course of study was ELF. And the date conferred was 12/15/1970. Okay, save and continue. Your experience. If you have an employment verification form to submit, this would be the page to submit that. If you click yes, it will ask you to submit a document. So if you don't have the document, then you want to click no. So demo, I'm going to go to the employment verification form. Okay. Verification form, open it and save and continue. Reasonable accommodations, there isn't anything you need to to check on this page, but you do have to save and continue. For attestation, you need to click the button and then just type your name. And click save. And now fee and payment. So then you'll enter your credit card number. Your CVE. I would suggest a copy from the application. If you're mailing it or if your address and everything on your associated with your credit card is the same with the address that you submitted with your application and your click paying. Okay, now you return to your dashboard and you'll see that you have an application for eligibility evaluation and that it has been submitted. So now let's, at this point, we'll just log out. And let's just click here to register. Okay, and so if, let's put Bob Meyer.
So
Kind of,
just to recap, Amy is going back over on the process of what you guys need to do to register, and she's going to go over what the requirements are for when you create your password initially.
right. So E30 and cell phone number. I do not want text messages and submit registration. Okay. Okay, so now this is 30, this is the one. So click this. Here to go to your login page. Login. Okay, well, I don't know why. Okay. Oh, okay, again, we'll receive an email. Copy the password. Click here to go to your login page. Okay, so the old password is the one that you received in the text or in the email. And here are the requirements for your password. It must be at least 15 characters long, contain lowercase letters, contain numbers, special characters, and the password must contain uppercase letters. So it's just that your pretty secure password. So just use one that I have saved off. Okay, now we're back to submitting a new application, which we've already gone over. So that was kind of a disjointed presentation, but it did go through the steps on how to register and how to submit an application for eligibility evaluation. Are there any questions?
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat at this moment.
Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my desktop, and I will pass this off to Jesse.
Okay, everyone. So I am, again, if for anyone who was not in the meeting at the beginning, my name is Jesse Brunsma. I am the CSE, California Supplemental Examination Specialist with the board, and I'm going to be walking you guys through how to submit a CSE application online. It's going to be very similar to the application for eligibility evaluation that Amy just showed. So hopefully a lot of it should look the same. If you guys have any questions, make sure to raise your hands and we'll get to those once we set some time aside for some questions. And then I just wanted to real quick let everyone know. So if you're submitting a CSE application to the board, you would only be submitting a CSE application essentially if you have been deemed eligible by us and if you have received direct notification from the board that you are eligible to submit that CSE application. If there's any questions at all on whether you are eligible to submit the CSE application or if you are, you've met all the requirements and you're ready to move on to that part of the examinations process, then I would definitely recommend reaching out to the California Architects Board by email or phone and speaking with an examination technician just so that you can confirm that you're eligible to submit that application or that it's required before you submit it, because otherwise then it's just, time that you guys have spent that may not have been necessary, money that's been paid in, and then we have to go through the whole process to correct that and just get it back to a point where the candidate is supposed to be in the process. So if there's any question at all about your eligibility for the CSE or your eligibility to submit an application, just please go ahead and reach out to the board and we will, confirm that for you so that the process is as efficient as possible for everyone involved. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So we will be logging in as Edward Haskell, who had previously submitted a CSE or an application for eligibility evaluation. And this is a made-up candidate, so this isn't an actual person, but this candidate theoretically has submitted his application, completed the ARE, met all requirements for the CSE, and is now eligible to log in and submit their CSE application. So you would log in to your Connect dashboard. And can everyone see my screen? I just want to make sure that everyone can actually see that. So you would, okay, cool. So you would, so now that you're here, you're going to see, so here's the previously submitted application here. You will go to new application. You will then select hit the drop down, and instead of application for eligibility evaluation, you will select application for California supplemental examination and create application. And then, so like I said, it's going to be very similar to what you saw on the application for eligibility. So the instructions and disclosures, which are going to just give general information on the fee, how it can be paid, and then the board's address if you are submitting an application by mail. And it's important to note that if you have submitted an application by mail or you are planning to, that you would not want to also submit an online application. You only want to submit that the specific application, by one mode. So if you submit electronically, you don't want to mail in an application. If you mail in an application, you don't want to submit online. But you would just save and continue once you've read through the information. And that will take you automatically to the next tab. So because we have already entered the social security number for this, the fake social for this record, it will pull it over, and it wasn't just the first 4 entered. And as you can see, Edward Haskell, it's pulled over all of the information from the record and from, from the record. So anything that you have entered when you registered the account will be pulled over here. Just do a quick verification that everything is correct, and then you would save and continue. And if there's anything missing, any required fields, it will point those out to you and, require that you enter those before continuing through the application. Go, it's just taking a second. So disciplinary and conviction questions. So this question is a little tricky. It's specifically disciplinary and conviction questions, but the question that's asked is, have you ever had a registration denied, suspended, revoked, or otherwise been disciplined by a public agency in any state or country? So if you have any kind of conviction records or anything like that, this question is not specifically actually asking about convictions. All candidates are required to submit a fingerprint background check before we can issue a license. It's not required before eligibility for the exams or for CSE, but it is required to be completed before licensure. So you would only want to respond yes to this question if you have had a registration denied, suspended, revoked, or been disciplined by any architecture board in any other state. So this is specifically about the disciplinary. So you would answer yes or no depending on your situation. If you select yes, it will ask you to provide an explanation and upload a document describing what the situation was. But in this case, we're going to say no and save and continue. Okay, and then reasonable accommodations, that is going to be your next stop. So this tab is just informational. If you are someone who is interested in requesting reasonable accommodations for the CSE, you would want to go to this link here. And if you click that link, it'll take you directly to the reasonable accommodations page of the board's website, where you can find, additional information and, the required forms that you would need to submit. And if you have any questions at all and you would like to request reasonable accommodations, definitely just reach out to the board and you'll be connected to me and I will be able to assist you with that process. So again, this is just informational, this tab, and you can click Save and Continue once you have either reviewed that or it didn't apply to you and you can move on. So now we're back at the attestation page. So you, just like with the application for eligibility, you would declare that all the information is true and correct, and then you would type in your name, save and continue. And then same thing with this, you'll do a credit card. So we'll go by credit card. And we'll copy information from the record.
Jesse, it's the test password or the test account is just 4111 followed by, no, 4. The first number is 4 and the rest are 1s.
Does the CVV matter, Amy?
CVV doesn't matter.
Okay, I believe that should do it. And then you'd pay and submit. And it does take a second once you click the button. And now it takes us back to our dashboard where we can see that we have submitted our application for supplemental examination. And that is how you would submit the CSE application. It's a shorter application than the application for eligibility because you're not required to submit, any education or answer any questions or work experience, anything like that with this application. So it's simply, once you've been determined eligible by the board and you've been notified that you are eligible to submit a CSE application, you could come in, and log in or register with your Connect record, hit new application and go through that process there. And then we do also still accept paper applications, but as Amy said, we do strongly recommend that applications are submitted online. But if you would like a paper application, you would just need to reach out to the board and we'll then confirm your eligibility and then mail that application out to you. So I believe that covers the CSE application. Did anyone have any questions regarding this app?
I'm not seeing any questions at the moment.
Okay, in that case, I will go ahead and pass this off to Oscar, who will run through the license application, and I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And if you have any questions about CSE, just put them in the chat and I'll be paying attention there as well. And I'll try to answer any of those that come in through the chat.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Oscar Diaz. And again, I am the Continuing Education and Licensing Analyst for CAB. And I will be going over how to fill out the application for licensure. Let me go ahead and share my screen. You guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we are going to be logging in using Clarence Rutherford's record. He has already applied for the eligibility and has been approved. And as you can see on your dashboard, he's also applied for the CSE and was approved. So after a candidate receives a passing score on their CSE and their test scores are processed with CAB, they will receive an email from Connect informing them to submit an application for licensure. That's where you guys will log back in, go into the new application, and you will select application for licensure. So again, this is just the instructions and disclosures. You guys want to take a minute to read this. It does inform you that our website has a initial licensure fee calculator to determine the correct fee amount. So our licenses are normally good for 2 years. If you are, and they expire on the last date of your birth month. If you are applying for a license, this is your first time getting licensed, and your birth month, say for example, is within a year. If you were to get licensed and the expiration year is every odd year, so for 2003 to 2005, if you were applying and your license expires in, let's see, within a year, your fee would be half price, which is right now $200 plus any service fee if you apply online. Otherwise, the total fee would be $400. Just keep that in mind. Let's see here. And of course, if you guys have any questions, you can always call the board and we can contact you with the cashiers to give you an exact amount of what your fees will be. So as we're filling in all the personal information, we want to review that you got everything correct. You want to make any changes, feel free to do so. If not, go ahead, save and continue. Did I miss something? Okay. So now it's going on to the disciplinary and conviction questions. Again, you will actually answer these truthfully. And we were going to go ahead and say no, we have not had any registration suspended, denied, or revoked. And again, as Jesse mentioned, this new licensure applicants are required to submit a full set of fingerprints for the purpose of conducting a federal and state criminal history record check. You can visit our website for additional information. And so online, it's very simple. It asks you if you are a California resident. That's where you will click, you go ahead and click yes. And it will ask you, have you submitted fingerprints through live scan to CAB? If you are a California resident, you can go and get your live scan. You don't have to send a hard card. However, if you're not a California resident, it will ask you, have you submitted 2 completed FD 258 fingerprint hard cards? That's the only difference. So for the purposes of this instance, we will just say, yes, we are a California resident, and yes, we submitted our live scan. If you know please input the ATS number located at the bottom. Let's see if it'll accept this.
You can just, if it's only if known, if it's not required, Oscar, you can go ahead and skip it. That's something that we probably don't have a demo number for, so we won't be able to enter it.
Thank you.
Okay, just put
okay,
no.
so
just say that
let me just put no. Okay. So just keep in mind, you do have to have this submitted and it has to be cleared before you do receive your licensure through us. Okay, did go through. Now this is an attestation. Again, you will declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California. I'm sorry, that the information on this application for licensure are true, correct, and contain no material omissions of fact to the best of your knowledge and beliefs. And you will sign it by entering your name. We used Clarence Rutherford. Sorry. Save and continue. And after all that long process, we're almost there. You selected payment. Let's see. Mhm. Go ahead and make sure all your payment information is correct. You pay and submit. And there you go. It'll bring you right back to your dashboard, and it'll show you your application for licensure has been submitted. And you will receive another email notification from the board, and it will be most likely our licensing technician who'll be reaching out to you. Are there any questions?
I saw one question. If it was in the chat, I'm not sure. I just saw it pop up.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen.
There is a question regarding hard cards. And how to obtain the hard cards for those who are out of state. Oscar, can you answer that question?
So you can go to any police department and you can request fingerprint hard cards. You could let them know that you are applying for a criminal background check for California Architects Board, and I believe it is FD 258 is the number of the form that is universal in all 50 states. You can request those and make sure you submit 2 copies of that. Once you get your fingerprints processed, 2 hard cards, you go ahead and mail them directly to the board.
We have a question regarding what if you're a Canadian moving to California? Let me keep up here. What if you're Canadian moving to California after receiving license? They're asking, does their background check and fingerprint have to be in California or Canada?
So again, if you are a California resident at the time you're applying for license, you would go through a live scan. Otherwise, you would have to submit 2 copies of fingerprint hard cards.
And that includes candidates living in a foreign country.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just want to point out as well that for anyone who does have a question regarding the hard cards or how to get them, if you're an out of state or out of country candidate and you are trying to do your fingerprints, I have posted a link in the chat. It will take you, directly to the page of the website where you can actually submit your mailing address and request that blank hard cards be mailed out to you. So if you need that link, just check in the chat and you'll be able to find that there. And I do also want to point out, I don't think it was mentioned, that if you are submitting an application online, a social security number, let me clarify, a United States social security number or ITIN is required to submit the application online. If you do not yet have that, or you're in the process, then you will not be able to submit an online application or you won't be able to submit an application until that SSN or ITIN is issued. Just for anyone who is wondering who might be in that situation.
And if there are any candidates who are licensed in another U.S. jurisdiction and you plan to apply through reciprocity, that application is not yet available in Connect, so you'll need to submit a hard a paper application, and you can do that by going to our website, and it's listed on the website.
I'm
I'm
not seeing any additional questions in the chat.
I'm doing a quick scan to see if
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything
missed.
there.
Yeah, I don't see anything else.
There is someone who has a question regarding, I have an
Timmy,
EVP question. I'm not sure what
Timothy,
EVP
did you mean
is.
to reference an EVF, an employment verification form?
Yes.
Okay, and then what was your question regarding the EVFs?
You can ask it. You can unmute yourself and ask it. I think there's the ability to
If you
unmute
have the
yourself.
option.
Yeah, if you have that option. Well, let me see if I can unmute him.
I know people said they were having issues with the meeting, so they may not be able to.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and, oh. He says he's designed in many states under an architect license. Does he need to include all those states? Jesse, can you answer that?
So essentially, you don't need to include so you're talking about the EVFs, so you wouldn't need to submit an employment verification form for every single state that you've worked in. Essentially, you would only need to submit the EVFs, so the work experience on an EVF that you need to become eligible. So if you are a candidate who's just starting to get ready for the architect registration exam, the ARE, and you're applying with us to seek eligibility for the ARE, you're going to want to submit at least 5 years of work experience under a U.S. architect. And that's if you don't have a NAB accredited degree. So if you have a NAB accredited degree, you wouldn't need to submit any employment verification forms to the board because your NAB accredited degree in architecture would grant you eligibility for the architect registration exam, the ARE, based on your education alone. And then you could just work on submitting your work experience directly to NCARB. So if you're reciprocity, are you an NCARB certified architect, Timothy? No. Okay. So in that case, you would still want to reach out to NCARB and request a transmittal of your AXP record if you've completed that with NCARB. And actually, I would recommend, Timothy, go ahead and I'm going to put my email address in the chat for you. Just go ahead and send me a direct email, and it'll be a lot easier to see your direct situation. And then there's a lot of stuff I can't discuss over this meeting. So if it's personal, so just go ahead and shoot me an email at that email address in the chat, and I will go ahead and address all those questions for you.
And then Amy, can you put your email address out there too, Oscar, as well? That way, if anyone wants to go ahead and contact you guys directly about it.
I have a question.
And,
do you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Yep.
Yes, we can.
So I recently moved out of California. I had gotten verified through CAB, but I had registered, but my registration expired. And I'm in kind of a dilemma right now where I'm trying to decide if I should switch my jurisdiction and get licensed in my state, which does not have an additional exam to the ARE, and then
Okay.
go back to the CSE because I still want to take my CSE. I just don't want to complicate the process more if I'm already in the California jurisdiction registered for that.
Got you. So that won't, it depends on when your eligibility will expire with us. So it's not going to cause you any problems if you're completely free to, since if you've completed the ARE and the state you're looking at does not require an additional examination for licensure, you are, completely free to go ahead and, reach out to that state, apply with them and submit whatever you need to them to, gain licensure there. They will most likely require a certification of your ARE exam scores. So you would just reach out to us, the California board, for that and request that we, send it to the specific state board. There is no fee for that for us. So you just submit the request and we'll certify your exam scores and then, send that directly to the state board so that they have that from us. But it is important to note that that is the only information we share. If you have previously submitted, an AXP transmittal or, your transcripts, work experience, none of that stuff transfers over from the board. So we always would do is certify your exam scores, and then you can go through the process with that other state.
And that other stuff would just be through ARE then? Sending their certification, okay.
Yeah, well, depending on what their requirements are. Yes. So if all they require is education and ARE and then AXP, then, you'll have to reach out to them specifically just because we can't speak to their requirements. But yeah, it's you would just reach out to us for a certification of your ARE exam scores and then request that be sent to whichever board, you would like to have those scores sent to.
Okay.
And then, so Christina, I'm seeing that you finished your NCARB exams and received that you take the CSE. So yes, there is an expiration for eligibility. So every candidate who is in the examination process, regardless of where they're at in the examination process, whether that be taking the ARE or whether they're getting ready to take the CSE, all candidates must sit for an examination within 5 years from the date that they are first determined eligible to sit for that exam, or from the date of their last exam attempt. So you just want to make sure that you are, testing at least once every 5 years. And then anyone who has a question about that, if you may be in that situation and you're not sure where your eligibility is at, again, go ahead and reach out to either me or Amy. You can reach out to me, Jesse, for any CSE eligibility questions, and Amy for any ARE eligibility questions. So if you have any worry or concern about your eligibility, just go ahead and reach out to us and we can, discuss that further.
And Christina, I see that you have a sad face emoji in the chat. If you have expired, you will just need to reapply with the board and to reactivate your account. You won't need to, well, it depends if we still have your file, your physical file. You won't need to submit any more documentation. You'll just need to submit an application to reactivate your account. And if you reach out to me at the email address in the chat, I can send you the information. And also, if you have your CAB ID, provide that in the email.
And I just would like to, let everyone know again that if anyone is interested in participating in our survey that will be coming out after this, just send us an email saying that you're interested in completing the survey for the presentation, and we will include you in that notification. Anyone have any final questions before we end the presentation?
Marcus, I've seen a couple questions regarding the rolling clock. Did you want to real quick just give everyone in here a quick update on that? Because it looks like it was a pretty quick response that you provided.
Yes. So the information that I now have is that it has gone before the board and that we are looking at a legislative approach that would make it faster for us to, or sooner, for us to implement the new change that NCARB has come out with. And that we'll have further information regarding that So if you're interested, please subscribe to our subscriber list. And then we'll be sure to get that out to people once we have all the information. I would like to thank everyone for their time coming to our presentation today, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.